How big are your goals? How big are your dreams? How big is your vision for yourself and your business? Many times when people come to me for the first time, I do an audit of what they do in their business every day. It doesn't match the goals they've set for themselves. So here's a question for you. Do your actions match the goal you set for yourself? So let's say you want to hit 15K months or 20K months in your business. If I did an audit of the actions you take in your business every day, does it match the goal you've set for yourself? Now, sadly, we live in a society where people don't aspire to work hard anymore. People just want things to be easy, but to build a hugely successful business, you have to have a strong foundation for that business. And to build a strong foundation is going to take hard work in the beginning. It's going to take some grit, some determination to build that foundation for your business. Now, if we looked at successful athletes today, like LeBron James, like Roger Federer, any athlete you admire, do you know how much work ethic they have? Kobe Bryant, that's someone I love so much, although he's no longer with us now, but he had such amazing work ethic. He would wake up at the wee hours of the morning when other people are asleep and put in the reps in his practice, basketball practice. But sadly, in business, people don't realize that you need to put in the hard work, especially at the beginning. So if I looked at your business, what you do every day, will it match your goals? Now, I've said in a number of my videos lately that while I've gotten to 25K months now, the past 2 months I've done 25K every month, what many people are failing to realize, or maybe I'm not stressing that enough, is that for over 1 year, I was doing my podcast without one paid client. For a whole year, I was showing up every single week on my podcast, doing the videos, before I got one paid client from my podcast. But many people will see me now making 25K for last month and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. Well, I don't use the word luck anyways. I am blessed, yes, but there is the part where you have to invest your time, your effort to build a successful business. And as women, we need to fight for our dreams. We need to fight for our vision. Why? Well, because it's really not just about the money. Right? We are trying to build a legacy. Well, I am anyways, and most of the women I speak to are. They're trying to provide a comfortable, happy life for their kids. I'm not saying you need money to give your kids a happy life, but you want to be able to provide for your children so that money is not an object. Apart from that, you want to leave a legacy. So for me, for example, the way I am building my business, I want my daughter, Ivy, when she's older, I want her to take over. I want to leave this business as a legacy for my daughter. And for all of the things that have happened in my life, the people I have lost, very close friends, very close family members, I know that tomorrow is not promised. And so I take action from the point of view of today is what I have. Today is the gift I have. And I want to put it as much effort as I can into my business to build that amazing future I want for my daughter. And for women especially, this is so important. In fact, must have been 4 weeks ago, I got on a consult with a lady. She has 90,000 followers on Instagram. She calls herself a weight loss coach, and she hasn't signed one single client after 2 years in business. And so when I dive in deeper, I see that she's not really motivated. Why? She told me she has a husband that takes care of the entire family. Her husband is extremely successful, but she has always been a stay-at-home mom. And she's about 50. She's turning 50 soon. But then I asked her, what if something happened to your husband? Like, she doesn't know how money is made. She's never worked. And I was like, wow, as a woman, we need to be able to take charge of our future. Like, I'm not saying that anything bad will happen to the husband, but we know that things can change in a second. Like, he could come home tomorrow and say he's no longer in love with her and he wants a divorce, right? So then as women, we need to take charge of our future and take ownership, have agency, and decide to put in the work to create a successful business. Now, when I spoke to her, I'm like, she doesn't even have the motivation to create a successful business because she lives in this massive mansion. She has house helps, like she has 2 people that helps out with taking care of the house because she's in this massive house. But she's never worked a day in her life. She doesn't have her own money. She says her husband makes all the money and her husband manages all the money. So I want to challenge you today as a woman to finally start taking your business seriously and for your actions to start matching the goals you've set for yourself so that you can be very proud of what you create in your business. And here's the thing. You get to decide how much you want to make. I remember when my coach, Brooke Castillo, said this to me. She said, you can make as much money as you want to make. When she told me that for the first time, I was like, what? Do women get to decide how much they get to make? And after working with her for over a year, I realized that yes, we get to decide how much we make in the world. Why? Because money is created through value. And when you know how to create money in the marketplace, you know how to create value, then you can actually make as much money as you want. So let's say you decide, I want to make $500,000 this year. Let's say you set that as your goal. The next thing you have to do is to find out what will the marketplace pay, and then how do I create that value in the marketplace? Because guess what? There are millions of women making that amount of money as business owners. In fact, it must have been last year, I saw a Facebook post of a lady who had paid another female coach $500,000 US for a year's worth of coaching. I'm like, what? She's called Alpha Femme. You can go check her out. She's called Alpha Femme, and she's just done incredible things for herself as a coach and a mentor. So when I have all of those examples, I know that as women, we can decide how much we want to make. So I hope today you are encouraged to take the actions that will get you the results you want. Have a fantastic rest of your day.